Have you ever felt a sudden chill when you thought you were completely alone, or sensed a presence that seemed to protect you in a moment of danger? These are not mere coincidences. Many believe they are tangible signs of an invisible force, powerful, benevolent beings watching over you, ready to intervene when you need them most. Yes, I'm talking about guardian angels. For centuries, countless cultures around the world have shared stories of angelic visitations, miraculous interventions, and divine protection. Ancient myths and even major religious texts reference these heavenly messengers, describing them as loyal servants of God, assigned to safeguard our lives. Among those who spoke most fervently about angels was the legendary evangelist Billy Graham, who dedicated part of his ministry to teaching about their purpose and how to truly welcome their guidance. Picture this. You're at a crossroads in life. Uncertainty and fear seem to shadow your every step. But imagine for a moment that you could call upon a protective presence to light your way, someone who has been at your side all along, silently guiding you through hidden pitfalls. According to Billy Graham, this isn't just an inspiring idea, it's a spiritual reality. Angels are constantly on alert, waiting for the moment you invite them to act in your favor. But how can you actually activate this divine protection? What does it take to become fully aware of and aligned with the angelic forces that have been assigned to guard you? In this video, we're going to uncover those answers step by step, drawing on biblical insight and time-tested wisdom about faith and devotion. Before we continue, if you already feel a spark of hope or curiosity stirring within you, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It's a small act that helps us reach more people who may desperately need this message of protection and hope. Ready to dive deeper? Let's move on to discover how angels can intervene in our everyday struggles and how you can invite them to do exactly that. To understand how to activate your divine protection, we first need to explore why these heavenly beings exist and how they work in our lives. Billy Graham often spoke about the reality of angels, emphasizing that they are not just figures from ancient myths or stories, they are real, active agents in God's plan. According to Graham, angels are God's messengers, sent to assist us in ways we may never fully understand. They offer protection, guidance, and sometimes even deliver divine messages in our times of need. In the Bible, in the book of Hebrews, we're told, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" Hebrews 1:14. This verse speaks directly to us, believers who seek salvation and divine protection. Angels are sent to serve and guard us. But how do we activate their presence? Billy Graham taught that one of the first steps in inviting angelic protection into our lives is through prayer and faith. It's not about performing rituals or waiting for a miracle to happen. It's about intentionally acknowledging that you are open to God's divine intervention. When you invite God into your life and express your need for His protection, angels are activated as part of that invitation. But here's where the challenge lies. Many people unknowingly shut themselves off from divine help because they're caught in a cycle of doubt or fear. Fear, anxiety, and unbelief can block the flow of divine protection. This doesn't mean that God abandons us, but rather that we limit our ability to recognize and receive the help that's already available to us. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe you are worthy of divine protection? Many of us struggle with feelings of unworthiness. We think, I've made too many mistakes, I've strayed too far. But here's the beautiful truth. Angels are not sent to protect us because we are perfect, but because God's love for us is unconditional. Billy Graham frequently reminded his audience that no matter how far we may feel from God, His love is always greater. In times of doubt, it's crucial to remember that your connection to divine protection isn't about your own perfection. It's about your willingness to trust in the unseen forces that are there to guide you. But here's the key. It's not enough just to believe in angels and hope they'll show up. You have to actively seek their protection. Prayer is one of the most powerful tools for inviting angelic intervention into your life. When you pray, you're acknowledging that there is a higher power, one that is far more capable of solving your problems than you are on your own. Billy Graham recommended that when you pray for protection, you should pray specifically and with intent. Instead of vague prayers like, "Please protect me," try something more direct like, "I ask for your protection, Lord, and I trust that your angels are surrounding me right now, guarding me from harm and leading me to safety." Praying with intention activates not only your faith, but also the divine forces surrounding you. At this point, I want you to take a moment to reflect. What is it that you're most afraid of right now? Is it financial instability, health issues, a broken relationship? Whatever it may be, know this: your angels are ready to help, but you need to invite them into your specific situation. And if you're feeling a bit uncertain about this whole concept, that's okay too. Remember, God has given us free will. The angels can only intervene when we are open to receiving their help. So let go of the fear and surrender control to a power that is greater than any problem you face. If you're feeling this message in your heart, don't wait until the end of the video to take action. Like, share, and comment below to share your thoughts. Have you experienced moments in your life where you felt protected or guided by something unseen? I'd love to hear your story. One of the most remarkable stories illustrating angelic protection comes from the Old Testament in the book of 2 Kings. The prophet Elisha and his servant find themselves surrounded by an enemy army. Overwhelmed by fear, the servant cries out, convinced they are doomed. Elisha then prays, "O Lord, open his eyes so that he may see." In that moment, the servant's spiritual eyes are opened, and he beholds the hills filled with horses and chariots of fire, angelic armies standing ready to defend them. This story perfectly embodies Billy Graham's teaching. Angels are there, but our awareness of them is what makes the difference. The servant was terrified until he realized they weren't alone. That same revelation is available to each of us. You might feel cornered by your personal battles. Maybe it's a family crisis, a health scare, or financial worries. But if you pray, "Lord, open my eyes," you might be astonished at how much divine support has been surrounding you all along. Now we need to address a critical point that often gets overlooked. Your mindset and spiritual posture can either invite or obstruct angelic intervention. When we live in constant negativity, when we neglect our faith, or when we cling to resentment and anger, it's like shutting the door on the very help we've been praying for. On the other hand, when we cultivate gratitude, worship, and a seeking heart, we create an atmosphere that resonates with the divine. Billy Graham emphasized that humility plays a huge role here. We don't command angels. They're not at our beck and call. Instead, they respond to our genuine dependence on God. When we humble ourselves in prayer and say, "God, I can't do this on my own. I need your help," that's when the angels are truly activated. It's a surrender of control that invites the supernatural into our natural realm. So, how can you make this practical in your daily life? Start by carving out regular moments of prayer and reflection. Turn your anxieties into invitations for angelic help. Instead of dwelling on fears, use them as prompts to remember, "I don't have to face this alone." You might say, "God, I feel afraid right now, but I believe in your protection. Send your angels to guide me and guard me from harm. Help me to see the unseen realm of your care." Another simple yet powerful practice is worship and thanksgiving. When your heart is lifted in gratitude, you naturally shift your focus from problems to solutions, from fear to faith. This mindset makes you more receptive to the peace and guidance angels can bring. And remember, you're not in this journey alone. There's a community of people who have experienced miraculous protection. Some of you watching right now have testimonies of near-miss accidents, inexplicable turnarounds, or sudden surges of peace in the midst of turmoil. If you've ever felt that kind of divine intervention, share it in the comments. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to keep believing. As you continue watching, we're going to delve even deeper into specific steps and prayers that Billy Graham and other spiritual leaders recommend for consistently welcoming angelic activity into your life. There's so much more to uncover, so stay with us and let's explore this path together. At this point, you might be asking, what are some practical ways I can activate this protection in my life on a daily basis? Great question. It's easy to think of angels as distant, otherworldly beings, but the truth is, God has equipped us with specific tools to engage them in our lives. Billy Graham, along with countless spiritual leaders, believed that there are powerful practices that anyone can adopt to draw closer to divine protection. The first of these practices is faith-filled prayer. I can't emphasize enough how important prayer is. It's not just about asking God for help. It's about aligning yourself with His will and inviting His protection to intervene in your daily circumstances. Billy Graham often said that prayer isn't a one-way conversation. It's a dialogue that opens the door for God to send His angels to your side. To activate angelic protection, you need to pray with confidence. When you pray, don't simply speak your worries. Instead, speak with the belief that God is listening and that He is ready to send His angels to work on your behalf. For example, you might say, "Lord, I trust in your protection. I invite your angels to guard me and my loved ones from harm today. Please give me the strength and peace to overcome whatever comes my way." You see, when we pray this way, it's not about asking angels to act. It's about inviting God's will, which includes sending angels into our lives. Billy Graham emphasized that prayer isn't about trying to change God's will. It's about aligning ourselves with it. Another powerful practice is daily gratitude and surrender. Start your day by thanking God for His protection and acknowledging the angels who surround you. A simple declaration like, "Thank you, Lord, for the angels who protect me. I trust you to guide me today, and I surrender my fears and worries to you," can set the tone for the day. Gratitude is a powerful tool. It shifts your focus from the problem to the solution, and it reminds you that you are not alone. But there's another secret weapon in activating your divine protection: trust in God's timing and plan. One of the greatest struggles we face as humans is patience. We want things fixed immediately, and when they aren't, doubt creeps in. But divine protection is often about more than immediate answers. It's about trusting that God's timing is perfect. Billy Graham reminded us that sometimes we are shielded from harm in ways we can't yet understand. There may be times when an angelic intervention happens behind the scenes, and it doesn't look the way we expect it to. Sometimes, God's protection means keeping us from dangerous situations we don't even know about. That's why it's so important to trust in God's plan. When we release our need for control and trust that He knows what's best, we invite His protection more fully into our lives. Every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to strengthen our trust and believe that even when we don't see the angels at work, they are there. Now, I encourage you to take a moment and think about what area of your life needs protection the most. It could be your family, your health, your career, or even your mental well-being. What is the one thing you can pray over today to invite angelic help? Share it with us in the comments. What's one area where you need divine protection right now? By sharing, you not only open up to receiving support from others, but you also solidify your intention to trust in God's protection. We've talked about the importance of prayer, gratitude, and trust in God's plan. But there's one final practice that can elevate your connection with divine protection: meditation and stillness. Billy Graham often spoke about the importance of quieting our hearts to hear from God. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get overwhelmed by noise, distraction, and the busyness of life. But taking just a few minutes each day to meditate, breathe deeply, and focus on God's presence can help you tap into His protection in powerful ways. When you meditate on God's word and reflect on His promises, you create an open channel for His angels to work through. In those moments of stillness, you invite clarity, peace, and divine protection into your life. Now that we've covered powerful practices such as prayer, gratitude, trust, and meditation, let's turn our attention to one more critical aspect of activating angelic protection, being aware of the signs and the presence of angels around you. Many people dismiss the little moments in life that could be signs of angelic activity. Angels do not always appear in dramatic or inspiring forms. Instead, they often work through subtle nudges, peaceful thoughts, or unexpected events that guide and protect us in our everyday lives. Billy Graham often said that angels work behind the scenes, quietly orchestrating circumstances to lead us in the right direction. Sometimes you might feel an unexplainable sense of peace or calm during a stressful situation, or you might experience a sudden insight that helps you make a crucial decision. These could be signs of angelic guidance. One example is a story that Billy Graham shared during one of his sermons. A man was about to board a plane when he suddenly felt a strong urge to turn around and leave the airport. Despite no logical explanation, he followed his intuition and walked away from the terminal. Later, he learned that the flight had crashed shortly after takeoff. Was this mere coincidence, or was it an angelic intervention protecting him from danger? You see, angels often work in ways we don't immediately recognize, and that's why it's essential to be open to the unseen world of divine protection. Don't dismiss moments of unusual insight or peace. They may very well be a sign that angels are at work in your life. Billy Graham also spoke about the need for spiritual discernment, the ability to distinguish between what is of God and what is not. When you learn to listen to your inner voice, when you recognize the subtle guidance that leads you toward peace and safety, you begin to see more clearly the angelic help that is all around you. This is why it's so important to develop a closer relationship with God. The closer you are to God, the clearer you'll be able to hear His voice and the guidance of His angels. As you pray, as you read Scripture, as you sit in silence before God, your ability to recognize the presence of angels will increase. It's in these moments of quiet connection that you begin to see the signs, feel the presence, and sense the divine protection that has always been there. And remember, angels do not only protect us from physical harm, they also protect our hearts and minds. Billy Graham emphasized that spiritual warfare is real, and sometimes the greatest danger is not a physical threat, but the lies and doubts that attack our peace of mind. In these moments, angels can offer protection from negative thoughts, fears, and the overwhelming weight of life's challenges. So as you go through your daily life, keep your eyes open, watch for signs of divine intervention, a comforting thought in the middle of chaos, an unexpected phone call at just the right time, a sudden burst of peace when anxiety tries to take over. These are all ways that angels may be working on your behalf. Take a moment right now to think back on a time when something extraordinary happened, when you felt protected or guided, even when it didn't make sense at first. Maybe it was an answer to prayer, or perhaps it was a quiet reassurance in a moment of fear. Share that story with us in the comments below. Your testimony might encourage someone else who needs to hear about God's protection. We've talked a lot about how to activate the protection of your guardian angels, but now I want to ask you, are you ready to put this into practice? Are you ready to step into a life of divine protection, where you trust and believe that angels are standing by, ready to guide and protect you? If you are, let me encourage you to take one step right now. Take a moment today to pray, to invite God's angels into your life, and to trust that they are already surrounding you with their protection. This simple act can open up a whole new realm of possibilities, peace, and divine safety. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final empowering thought. You are never alone in this journey. No matter how challenging life gets, no matter how heavy the weight of your problems may feel, the presence of your guardian angels is always around you. The moment you invite them in, they are ready to protect, guide, and support you through every trial you face. Billy Graham often spoke about the importance of living with a consciousness of God's protection, knowing that angels are there, working on our behalf. It's not just about asking for help in times of crisis. It's about realizing that you have divine assistance every single day. From the small decisions to the major life events, angels are there, prepared to lead you towards safety and peace. But here's the most important thing you can do: trust in God's will. This trust allows your faith to deepen, your heart to open, and your mind to become more receptive to the presence of angels. When you trust God, you allow the angels to move freely in your life. They work according to His plan, not just your personal desires, and knowing this brings a deep sense of peace. One thing I want to make clear: divine protection is not just a temporary solution to your problems, it's a lifelong journey. When you invite angels into your life, you're not just activating protection for today, you're opening the door for consistent, ongoing guidance and care. These heavenly beings are with you through every season of life, whether in times of joy, hardship, or uncertainty. Their presence doesn't fade, it remains with you, constantly guarding and leading you. At this moment, take a deep breath and acknowledge the divine presence that surrounds you. In every breath, you can feel the security that comes from knowing you are not alone. There is always more happening around you than meets the eye. Angels are working on your behalf in ways you may never fully comprehend, but you don't need to understand everything to experience their protection. And this brings us to a call to action, not just for today, but for every day moving forward. Don't forget to stay connected, stay in prayer, stay in faith, and stay aware of the angelic help that is always available to you. This connection to divine protection will change the way you see the world. It will transform your daily experiences, your challenges, and even your victories. So, I encourage you right now, take a moment to pray. Invite your angels into your life once again. Thank God for the protection you've already received and ask for continued guidance and care. Make this practice a regular part of your life. The more you engage with God's protection, the more you will see the results unfold in miraculous ways. Remember, your guardian angels are not just there to keep you safe, they are there to help you grow, to strengthen your faith, and to guide you closer to God's plan for your life. And the more you lean into this truth, the more they will show up for you in ways that will amaze you. If you've been touched by this message, I invite you to share it with someone who might need this reminder of divine protection today. Like, share, and subscribe to stay connected for more inspirational content that will help you activate the protection of your guardian angels. As we come to the close of this powerful journey, I want to remind you of something incredibly important. You are never without help. No matter how dark the road ahead may seem, no matter how many obstacles you face, God has equipped you with a divine force of protection that is always available to you. Your angels are ready and waiting, standing guard over you, ensuring that you are never alone in the struggles of life. When you align yourself with God's will, when you actively seek His protection and invite His angels into your life, you'll begin to see miraculous changes. Not because the challenges will disappear, but because you will gain the strength, clarity, and peace to face them head-on. The presence of divine protection isn't just about avoiding danger, it's about gaining the courage to overcome it. And remember, the more you cultivate a spirit of gratitude, trust, and openness to God's angels, the more you will see their presence in your life. It's in the small moments, those quiet whispers of peace, those sudden bursts of clarity, those times when everything just seems to fall into place, that you'll recognize the loving intervention of your guardian angels. So as you go on with your day, remember, your angels are working behind the scenes, orchestrating your path and guiding you toward the divine purpose you were always meant to fulfill. You are protected, you are loved, and you are never alone. Now, if this message has inspired you, and if you feel a sense of peace knowing that your angels are ready to protect you, take a moment to share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Like, share, and subscribe, and keep coming back for more uplifting content to continue your journey of divine protection. And before we end, let me leave you with this final thought. Don't be afraid to call upon your angels. They are waiting for you to invite them into your life and to trust in their guidance. When you do, you will experience the fullness of God's protection in ways that will astound you. Thank you for watching, and may you always feel the embrace of divine protection.